So this is Afro-Peruvian jazz music. The Gabriel Alegria Afro-Peruvian Sextet on tour in the United States at the moment, supporting an album called Ciudad de los Reyes, which is our latest. And we're in Cleveland, Ohio at the moment, and just very, very excited to share the music for the first time in this fair city. And everybody's getting ready to play and just very, very excited. What makes up our band is the combination of Afro-Peruvian music as it exists on the coast of Peru and American, Black American music, jazz music. And we, for the last 8 years since the band was formed, we have been developing this language, which is a combination of the two. And at this point in time, through many travels and many concerts and recordings and time hanging out together, the band has evolved into a family-like atmosphere, and the language of the music has now, I think, coalesced into a very organic and natural-sounding fusion. So that now it's not so much about what the elements that go into it, but just about the result of it in and of itself. It's a sound. We call it Afro-Peruvian jazz music. That's our sound. And the characteristics that are the most important for the sound are several. The first is that there's a specific spirituality in the music, which comes from the spirit of the peñas in Lima. A peña is a place where Afro-Peruvian music is practiced and preserved by those who love it, by those who have had it in their families, and people go to peñas to share in the joy of this music, to eat food, to dance. It's very, very, it's a very familial place. It's just an amazing community of people. And that's the spirit of what we do as well. We come from that spirit, so that the intention on stage is always to share, to involve the audience so that they're feeling like they're part of what's happening in a very natural, relaxed way. And that spirit is always present in our performances. And it manifests through things like huapeo, which is the act of calling out some shouts of encouragement. And you'll hear that especially from the percussionists, sometimes from the rest of us. And it's part of what happens at a peña, and it's part of Afro-Peruvian jazz music. From the Peruvian side, you'll also see the instruments that are perhaps the three most important instruments of Afro-Peruvian music: the cajon, the quijada, and the cajita. Those are the three principal instruments in Afro-Peruvian music, and they're heavily used in everything that we do. The heartbeat is the cajon, and the cajita provides some spectacular, passages of virtuosic hand percussion, and the quijada is the jawbone of a donkey, which exists in several places in Africa, other places in Latin America, but it's only in Peru where percussionists have turned it into a very virtuosic execution. We use that as well. The acoustic guitar is another very important Peruvian element. The tradition of acoustic guitar in Peru, it has an incredibly rich heritage and a very, very high level. The sound is that of Spanish flamenco, but taken and interpreted through the sensibility of the black population in Peru throughout the years. So the result doesn't sound like flamenco at all. It sounds like its own style of acoustic guitar playing, and that is a very important part of our sound. So we don't use the piano. We focus on this acoustic guitar element to provide that balance with the jazz side, which are the trumpet, the saxophone, the drum set. And holding it together, we use the double bass, the acoustic bass, not the electric bass, because it's more of an organic, fit for Afro-Peruvian music and jazz. So the colors come together that way with that specific balance. And compositionally, we work on using the various types of rhythmic basses from Peru. So we use the festejo for fast tunes, the landó for slower tunes, the vals landó for in-between tunes. We have passages of panalivio, samacueca, and tondero. These are all different types of Afro-Peruvian grooves that we incorporate into our compositions and our arrangements as well. And every member of the band has a mission to accomplish, within what we do. So each person has different elements that they bring to the mix. My job is to compose music and write arrangements so that each person is being exploited to the maximum. So I'm writing very specifically for Laura Andrea on the saxophone, and Yuri on the guitar, and Hugo Alcázar on the drums, or Shirizette Tinin on the drums. Everything revolves around Huevito Lobaton on the percussion because he's the master percussionist. So our writing is very specific to these musicians, and each of them then takes their role, to explore each avenue that comes into their creative spirit. So all told, that's the package of the Afro-Peruvian Sextet and Afro-Peruvian jazz music. The new CD, the music from Ciudad de los Reyes, which in English means City of Kings, and that's the nickname of our hometown of Lima. And it was the capital of the Spanish colonies way back about 500 years ago. And that was its name, Ciudad de los Reyes, City of Kings. And so the album has that name, and every piece is a little bit of a sound portrait of the city, which is a very, very large city, almost 10 million people, and all kinds of different colors and sounds and inspirations. So this is a piece I wrote called The Flying Princess, La Princesa Voladora. Bye.